How you doing, bro? How you feeling? Thank you for being here.
I'm good, bro. Thank you for having me. Just excited, dude. Excited to chop it up.
Man,
And really excited about what you're doing. So, dude, just pumped to be, a little part of your journey.
man, facts, bro. And look, you're someone that you're a 92, I'm a 90. We're 2 years younger, 2 years apart, right?
Yeah.
So, you're someone I've kept in touch, bro, since club days. We're both Salvadorian, big Sal. You're really Salvadorian. My family's really Salvadorian. And I feel like it's important to cover players like us, for up and coming players with Salvadorian background who are here in America or who are there in El Salvador, kind of just, I want to document information and kind of just try to inspire and try to have a direct pipeline and a blueprint of, how do you make it to the next level? What are your options, because as you know, bro, it's a bumpy pitch. It's a bumpy progress. And like till this day, I feel like even though American soccer has grown, there's still not a direct blueprint for players. There's not the direct blueprint, and there's not a successful development process for the American player, and not even for just American player, period. Not to mention the Latino players here in America, the Salvadorian, the Central Americans. So you're definitely someone that had, a crazy story as far as like a success story for me, bro. As in my eyes, at the end of the day, I see your career. I see that you got education, you played pro, you went back to the motherland, you represented the country. So I feel like, there's a lot of knowledge you have, and there's a lot of things that we can talk about. And at the end of the day, I want to have a conversation with people who care about elevating the sport here in America, here in the world as a sport in whole. But, I feel like it has to come from people that have lived it, people that have grown through the club level, have the ODPs, the national teams and stuff like that, because I wanted to start, I feel like for the growth of this platform and for just, for the growth of this platform, I wanted to start with people who I'm comfortable with to talk about soccer, because I know you love the MLS. I know like you're in the coaching scenes right now. You have your own, coaching program in Texas Texas has an amazing talent. I feel like they're a big powerhouse of the United States. And also, bro, you're a Sunday League warrior. So you're someone that gets it, like, the Sunday League scene and all the talent and all these leagues and all these big tournaments that have crazy cash prices. There is elite talent there that I feel like no one is tapping in and no one's really like covering. And I feel like if we were if we were able to have that under one magnifying glass, we'll be able to produce players, and I feel like we just have to find a better system to give access to soccer.
Yeah. No, well, I mean, dude, there's so much you can cover. I mean, there's so much from, because I'm both a fan of Salvadorian soccer and American soccer.
Yeah.
And just to, a little bit of my background, just where I grew up, right? I'm from Simi Valley, California, right? Small town. It's not a soccer city. We don't get anyone out. I think the closest we get is Thousand Oaks, Danny Barrera, Diego Barrera, absolute legends, right? Yeah. You got some Simi Valley guys. We got, some guys that we're able to go do, but it's not soccer town. So, I grew up there, started there, just playing, rec, AYSO, whatever, and then just played for a club there. And then, it was just the key to, what really made it work was going to the Valley, getting in a Latin league.
Yeah.
Right. At that time, Valley United was 2-time national champions, right? You're talking U11, you're talking just Latin kids, but that's a whole other, I mean, there's so many topics you can go on about, those kids peak early, man.
Yeah.
Those guys.
Yeah, I feel like you brought, just like Texas, you live in Texas now, but you did grow up in Simi Valley, Southern California, and there's a lot of Southern, not just whole California, because California is so big.
Ridiculous,
bro. But SoCal, we're a powerhouse. We might be the best. In my opinion, because I grew up, that's the system I grew up in. I think we pulled the best talent. We produced the best talent. That's where all the talent is. And I feel like, again, we're not even is the tip of the iceberg. There's so
Yeah.
many other cities that could be scouted in Pomona and like San Bernardino, you know, in the whole Pasadena area. And then it's just like I don't have a big problem with these big clubs, but I feel like these big clubs are not enough, and these big clubs are not doing. Like, America's so big that yes, there's people doing it right, but there's also a lot of bad information, you know.
Yeah.
So and SoCal, man, you mentioned you're from the Valley. I feel like the only club that's SoCal United. They still have a big name, but as far
Yeah,
as
Real
like,
SoCal now. Real SoCal is like they
Real
merged with
SoCal,
Samba. They merged with Samba, and then it just blew up.
yeah, but if you think about it, Thousand Oaks, that's next to Calabasas, that's next to the Hidden Hills. Like that's you. It's so that soccer is so targeted to the suburbs and to the middle class that again, like that may be a big club, but it's again not providing enough access to players like me and you. Because I feel like the only reason why me and you ended up in one of those clubs is because I got a scholarship where it was paid for free, and our parents saw that, you know, our kids are good. They have their talent, have the potential, and they're given this access, the free access of soccer. They're going to be able to get to college. And I feel like me and you have extremely benefited from the sport. So it's only right that we give back, bro.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, it's obviously, you know, I grew up in the beginning of it. So it was SoCal United, Samba, you know, and then like the Valley Uniteds, which is all Latin team.
Mhm.
You know, I just think California has so much talent, man. That's you know, it hasn't been discovered yet. You know, that you go to Santa Barbara, man, there's so much talent. Then you go all the way to the other side, you're pushing
Yeah.
towards like Anaheim and stuff, so much talent. So you got all this space of just like, and if you're not playing for a big club, you're not going to be seen, bro. Like unless someone's giving you a scholarship, you're just going to get, you know, you're just going to get caught up in that, and then you're stuck. I mean, I have so many, like you said, I play Sunday league, and I run into so many 17, 18-year-old kids that are on my team, and I talk to them after the game and I go, bro, what are you doing? Like, not like, what are you doing? But like, where are you at right now? Like, oh, I'm finishing up high school. What's your plan after? Nothing. Like,
Yeah,
no
there's
plan, nothing. But that's because nobody wants to take a chance on a kid that's not playing for a big club. Why would you? Why would you take a kid that's not playing for a big club when you can take a kid from a big club when you already know what you're going to get from that kid, because that club sends you players all the time.
Yeah.
So you already know what you're getting from them.
Yeah.
So you have two of the kids, maybe one's a little bit better, but I already know what I'm getting from Real SoCal. They send me players all the time. So I'm not going to go with this kid. I'm just going to go with what I know already.
Yeah. I felt just like the recruitment process for the player, for the coaches, has become extremely lazy as far as like, you know, coaches know what big tournaments to pull up to, and they know what guy's been in the league.
And you have a connection with one club coach, and he feeds you everything. If you want to really go there, Real SoCal, when I was playing, feeds everyone to CSUN, and there's no two questions about it. Everyone that was on my team went to CSUN.
Yeah.
Right. And what happened? CSUN was number 2 in the nation at one point.
Yeah.
A team from Northridge, right? Because it's just easy to. I mean, nothing's wrong with it, but you're not looking at the players that are really outside of here, you know?
Yeah, it's small bubbles that connect to other small bubbles, and I feel like it's like, not, I wouldn't say lazy, but it's become just more convenient to you. Again, go pull up to these big tournaments, have the connection, and then, you know, everything's based on the word. And I feel like nothing's under a magnifying glass. Nothing's being done from the MLS or US. It should be MLS, US soccer, MLS, and they should be providing these opportunities throughout Orange County, throughout South Bay, you know, and it shouldn't be these big clubs. Like, yeah, these big clubs maybe, you know, can stay around for the tradition, but it has to come from an umbrella of the MLS. And I feel like till we have that in order, we're not going to get anywhere, as far as like, we're not going to be able to cover all the talent. And bro, yeah, I keep bumping into this wall saying that America's so big, and it's, you know, it's going to be hard to keep track of players, but bro, we have a census. We can keep track of kids by district, by school district, you know. And I feel like if the MLS were to send out, and the MLS and US soccer were to send out people that represent them, who are licensed, qualified to go to these public schools, like, you know, have someone from the LA Galaxy go to a elementary, a middle school, and a high school in the South Bay area. And though they compete, those districts compete against each other, and that eventually goes to the state team. And bro, that's all under one magnifying glass, and everyone's moving on the same page as far as like, what curriculum and stuff like that. And I feel like we don't have to, I don't feel like we never had to, and we no longer have to try to get our soccer from the foreigners. I really think that, we've tried it, the Germans, we've tried, different philosophies, but I feel like we have an identity as far as like, we work hard, bro. You're never going to get an easy W against the US. We're athletic, and it's we're a blue collar team. Like, as far as like, we might not be the sauciest, but we, there's sparks of the Clint Dempseys, the Landon Donovans, the Michael Bradleys. Like, these are solid players. So I feel like we just, everyone, like, not everyone, but we have to get on, as a nation, we have to get on the same page about actually youth development and actually developing these youth instead of selling these dreams like these big clubs do. As far as like, we're going to develop your kid to go to college. And I feel like college is a good level, and we'll dive into that, but I don't think that should be our number one priority.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's just like, if you look at our national team now, like the US, going to the US, I mean, I don't have a problem with all the foreigners, because if you look at it, those really are the best players.
Mhm.
Like, there's no like, am I going to argue that Gio Reyna is not like, but how can we get it to where these guys don't have to go to Germany, or these guys don't have to go to France, or have to go to, and right now, I mean, if I'm being honest, I don't see it, because right now, if you're 14, 15 and you want to play at that level, you need to go.
You have
See
to.
ya. Ship them
You
off.
have to.
Ship
But-
them off. The Pulisic, the Gio Reynas, the Serginho Dest, the what's the center mid, Tyler Adams, or whatever his name
I
is.
love it.
Right? You gotta go. You gotta go. Those
Facts.
guys,
And
those
look,
guys' development is like, right? We're over here going to, Boston College in Cincinnati, and we're just here, doing whatever. These guys are in Germany just learning the game to a whole different level. It's your acceleration for the development is like 4 or 5 times of an American kid that sticks around and goes. I mean, to be honest with you, any kid that's saying like, oh, I got a USL contract or college, you're not going to hear me say go USL. You're
yeah,
going to hear me say go to college and get a degree and then go back and go USL. Now, if you got an MLS contract on the table, that's on you,
Facts.
whatever you want to do. But if you got a USL contract on the table, go to school, my boy. There's no reason for you to even go to school.
2
Get that
points. 2 points that you brought up. Yeah, that was going to be my next point. And we'll talk to this about USL versus college. But you said, yeah, we have to. At this point, we have to send our talent to the foreign leagues. But we also can't. I feel like we've got a misconception that that's a luxury, and I don't think that's a luxury. That's out of necessity. That's not something that we should want to do. Like you said, we have to have a system to keep the American here, so we don't have to send them out, right? So I feel like, yeah, it has to. Again, it goes to the responsibility of U.S. soccer and the MLS to give those Christian Pulisic, those Tyler Adams, like, the places to develop where we don't have to send it out. Because think about it, the NFL players, the NBA players, bro, they're all here, right? They don't, they only have to go to a different country because of like the rules, college rules or whatever it is. But they develop here, and the NCAA, the college system, I feel like the market for college sports is there. We see how crazy March Madness is for basketball. How many bowls you see, Super Bowl, all these for, and I feel like soccer is next, bro. I feel like women's soccer is just as exciting in college soccer. And I feel like, if the system were to give players a good youth development, as far as, again, under one umbrella, and then go together to give them an option of college, or give them our domestic lower leagues, like a good USL. But again, like the USL has no regulation, no promotion, so there's nothing to play for. It's just, everything just feels like a big investment, and it's just like, that's not, at the end of the day, that's not going to elevate the level of our sport. That's not going to keep the Christian Pulisic here, the Tyler Adams here, you know, because we're gonna keep having to export it. And the problem is that if we have to export, we can't sell them. We can't sell them. You know, the ideal it would be for us to develop the best American talent and then sell it to the Barcelonas, sell it to the PSGs, and then cash out, and then that funds our whole culture, our whole nation. So I feel like we have to just, we know as players and as coaches, and I feel like our new generation, we know that the system is fucked and it needs a whole reform. And I feel like it's just about throwing the different opinions and documenting the different opinions and like the experiences about how do we fix this, bro? Because, you know, I don't want to just create a platform where we're here just talking out the ass and saying we're bad. It's like, nah, how do we drive action? How do we actually fix this?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's tough, bro, because there's people that have been at this for years. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to go to the flip side of it, right? I was part of the first Americans to go to El Salvador and nationalize Americans playing for a Salvador national team.
Yeah.
I was part of the first, I went to the first trial with Richard Menjivar, right?
Yeah.
Like we went together, like they were looking at us. We were part of the first, right? Like when that guy was like, just how many caps does he have now? He was just a dream. We're just going, you know, with some random guys from East LA that was like, hey, we're taking a team over there. You want to go try out? And we went, right? And when you go over there, it's the same argument. Why do we have to bring these American players when we got these national players, right? And it's, well, the MLS players are just better equipped than the Salvadorian players. It's really simple. They eat better, they train better, they're fitter, they're stronger, they're faster, right? You got Christian Roland's brother. What's his name? Alex Roland?
Yeah, I just saw that.
That is huge, bro.
That's a big dub for us.
Sign up. You got Eric Zavaleta. That is huge, right? But you can't, like, it's hard to say it doesn't work because look how many caps Richie got and how helpful he was. And when I was with the U20s, bro, and we were doing World Cup qualifiers, we eliminated Costa Rica from the World Cup. They had Joel Campbell, bro. That was their main guy.
At Arsenal,
who was at Arsenal, who was at Betis, who's now at Leon, right? We beat them 1-0 Metapan, and then we tied 1-1 in Costa Rica in the Saprissa, right? They got eliminated. Guess who scored our 2 goals? Dustin.
Correct.
An American.
Yeah.
An American Salvadorian who just won the Salvadorian with FAS last year, right? Yeah. So it's hard to say it doesn't work because it helps, like, when you get those guys coming over. But it shouldn't be the whole team.
Facts. You know look, okay, perfect. I agree. We should have a balance. And today, you know, I got the match USA, bro, because you know, bro, they put the women's, they put the Olympic roster in. 14 of those 24 players are in our domestic league. That's big time. That's big time, right? So obviously the women are successful. They're, you know, they have, their system has their issues and development has their issues, but they're dominant. And I see them being generational dominant as far as like, you know, we look at the men's side, we haven't been too successful. We have a good group now, but is our next generation going to be good? It's doubtful. You know, we still don't know, but that's what, like you're saying, like, yeah, like it does work bringing those foreigners and stuff like that. And, you know, having to send people out, but we have to also give MLS and USL their respect because there's so much talent there too. Because you know, that's 14, that's more than half of the rosters in the domestic league, and you're looking how fast the NWSL is growing. I feel like it's gonna grow just as big as the MLS, and it's gonna be a super league, bro. A lot of these women superstars are playing here in this league and not in Europe. So I see it, you know, that's how the MLS is gonna be, where it starts being a washed up retired league, and it actually starts being one of those super leagues because we have the best American athletes here playing soccer,
bro. Let's, like, even if you want to just go all the way back and not even take it like as far as MLS, let's just say we don't want to talk all the way to the MLS because we haven't lived it, whatever. Cool.
Facts.
You want to say that? Cool. Don't, a national team, full national team, I haven't lived it, you guys are too, all right, cool. Let's take it back to college, bro.
Facts.
That's where really, bro, I know so many ballers that just ended up in the wrong place at the wrong time that were just ridiculous. But because coaches are trying to keep their jobs, and if you're not doing, what are you doing for me right now? And if you're not winning games for me, right? I got Penn State coming in tomorrow. And if you're not ready to go, right? And you have no guidance, you're getting there as a freshman, bro, with zero guidance. It's your first time on your own. You got all this school, right? And if you're not performing at an elite level, they throw you to the side. And as a 19, 18-year-old, right? How do you get your confidence back? And then sophomore year goes by and it's the same thing. And then junior year goes by and it's the same thing. And before you know it, it's over, right? And it has nothing to do with how good you are. It's you ended up in a system where they told you something and it was completely different. And when it came down to it, they didn't use you.
Yeah.
And I know so many people that just wrong, like people want to say like, oh, you know, you just gotta step up and be. It doesn't work like that, man. If you end up in a system that doesn't work for you, right? Some people just don't work in certain systems. I was at Tyler, who had a Brazilian kid.
Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
You made great points. So I was gonna transition into the college soccer and like, yeah, you know, that's a level me and you know. And before we dive into it, you made two good points, bro. One, about the coaches keeping their job. The season's so short, it's a 3-month season, and you gotta do class, you gotta miss half of that class, drinking around, girls around, living on your own for the first time. And on top of that, you gotta balance school and then perform your best soccer in 3 months, bro. Think about how draining that is on your body, but on your mental health, and like how stressful school is, where me and you come from the public schools. We're not equipped to, you know, to perform. If, you know, we can do well at these, if we were actually going to these classes and actually, but we're missing half of the class, you know, we're underprepared. And one thing about the college coaches is that they do have a job. People have to know, and up and coming players have to know, parents have to know, is that they have to keep a job. So they're going to sell you a dream. They're going to throw you the big facility, the Nike sponsor, like, you know, which has nothing to do with development of soccer. It's just like, you know, flashing lights. And I feel like from my experience, college coaches will rather teach you a system, a pattern, and park the bus, or either go direct long ball. And if you're athletic and if you know, if that works, then that's what they're going to value. And, you know, where players do get brushed under the rug, and then that stunts the development. And it's like, if you don't fit my system, if you can't do anything for me right now that's going to help me keep my job, like, fuck you. Like, you know, and it shouldn't be like that. And it's a cruel sport. It's a difficult system. But if you put all that bullshit to the side, bro, the level is good. All across the nation is good. At least when we and you played. So, you know, I feel like, again, under that, the college system is kind of under the magnifying, under one umbrella, but still not really. And
I mean, bro, I went to Cincinnati, bro, and when I took my visit there, right, I was either gonna go to University of South Florida or Cincinnati, right? Oh, and I took a visit to Fullerton. They were on the table too, right? I went on the visit and we sat down, right? Head coach. I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, we're gonna, you know, play a 4-3-3, bro. Like, we're gonna keep our wingers high and wide, right? Whatever, cool. And I'm like, yeah, and then the visit was amazing, you know, basketball, football, everything was good, right? You get there and you see that, you know, someone gets hurt or something falls through, and now you don't have the personnel to play a 4-3-3. So now immediately the first thought is, oh my God, we got to defend this season. Boom, 4-5-1. Now, line of confrontation at the half. Okay, now what did you just do to my game? Yeah. Right? I'm in the Big East or the American Athletic, whatever it's called. I'm like 5'8", and I'm just watching the ball go over me back and forth. Right? Yeah. You just took me from, we're gonna keep the ball on the deck, keep our wingers high and wide, we're gonna play a little bit, to, hey, let's pack into the bag because UConn's coming in hot. Well, yeah. Well, then what? So basically, you just got me. You got me there. Which, congratulations.
So do that dream. So do that dream.
Told me a dream, and then now I'm stuck. And the thing is, I'm not the only one that feels like this, right? We had some talent, man, my junior year, like ridiculous talent. But it was just the same thing for kind of everyone. And then you can just kind of see everyone just kind of mailing it in little by little. Like, it slowly just becomes like, this isn't it. Like this isn't
Your
it.
morale, bro, your morale gets sucked. Like it don't matter how good you do at practice. It doesn't matter, bro. Because again, it's a schedule. You're playing 2-3 games a week, and coaches have to win, have to keep their jobs. And yeah, so man, so look, before we dive into your Cincinnati journey, because you played there 2 years, you went to Tyler Community College in Texas, which is a community college powerhouse up there with the Mount Sacks, the Yavapes. You know, they really produce they really produce great talent. And for those who don't know and who are listening, and you know, who are maybe those players who are not really getting high recruited for a D1 or a D2, junior college is the right way to go. As far as like, if you want to continue to play and you want to continue to get an education, because the level is amazing, you know, not maybe all over the nation, but there's a couple powerhouses that where, you know, you can go a lot of programs that, you know, you can develop. Tyler Community College, I know a few players, Andrew Chavez have been through there. I know you, Jimmy Butler, you know, and it's not just for one sport. So I feel like for my duty for this platform, I also have to show that level of soccer and those colleges love, because you see the last chance use. You see that this is great content, and also like there's so many hidden gems that just need the right guidance to get to the next level. So, all right. So like, one of the best things I have, bro, I love about myself that I have a good ass memory. So you pull up in the Beamer. I'm like, damn, you got a Beamer. So, cause I knew you had a car, I didn't know it was a Beamer. So we went back to Simi Valley. You took me to Simi Valley before you took me to Pasadena. And we went to Chipotle. Mati was there, Uruguayan legend who also played for Chelsea, LAFC. But you tell me, and I'm in college at this point, and you tell me, bro, I just dropped out of high school. I don't want to go to high school. Like, we went back to your high school and took a stroll around. And I was like, bro, what are you going to do? And you were like, bro, I'm just going to try to train and like go to community college or maybe try to do something. Like, so I wanted to talk about, because I said at the beginning of this podcast, bro, like, I think your story is amazing. I was able to see it from like your whole journey from the youth. And it wasn't a fairy tale journey. It was a bumpy ass journey. I'm sure it was hard on you and hard on your parents, because Salvadorian parents are strict, bro. So I know they were not okay with you, you know, not finishing school. So I kind of wanted to talk to you, kind of just wanted to inspire people, kind of let them know, like, look, these are the things that can happen. And even though things are not going your way, we can always bounce back. And again, at the end of the day, boy, you have an American success story, a Salvadorian success story. So what do you remember about those times, bro?
Oh, I mean, it's actually crazy the way it just all turned out. You know, what happened was I was at LA Galaxy Academy,
Mm-hmm.
and then, you know, the UCLA assistant coach was my coach, Eddie Soto. So I was training there, you know, everything was good. I was with the academy, but I was killing it. So Chris Klein, who's now the president of LA Galaxy,
Yeah.
um, he calls me up like, hey, you know, the reserve first team training, you know, do you want to start training? And I'm like, yeah. So I'm training with the reserves, right?
Yeah.
At the same time, it's crazy the balance of like life, bro, because I was doing so well in one part of my life and just completely like off the edge on the other life. Like I wasn't going to school, bro. Like I wasn't showing up to class. I wasn't going to school. Just hanging out with the wrong crowd, right?
Yeah.
Which was weird. Like going to training with LA Galaxy and then coming home and just hanging out with the wrong crowd.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't add up. You would think that. Anyways, long story short, man, you know, it was a tough time for with my parents and stuff. You know, then there was no LA Galaxy 2 at the time. So in my head, I'm like, I'm going pro. I don't need school. I'm not going to school. I'm here for people. No LA Galaxy 2, no reserve team. So it's first team or bust. Let's be real, I wasn't ready for the first team. Tactically, I was not there yet. Physically, I was not there yet. Technically, I was always fine. But I break my foot and then playing basketball, and then I don't hear anything from LA Galaxy. And at that same time, everything just comes spiraling down. And then I realized that I didn't have enough credits to graduate. There was no way I was going to graduate. And now I'm in a pickle because basically they just told me, we have nothing for you.
Yeah.
And I just dropped out. I ended up dropping out. I just signed myself. I was 18. I just signed myself out of school. and now I'm just at home. So now I'm just at home, kind of stuck. No one really, if they don't need you, no one's really helping. They know I don't have grades, so no one's helping me try to get anywhere.
Yeah.
And then, so I'm just kind of like, recovering. And then, it's like the summer, and then I get a call from Chris Handy, now a good friend of mine, assistant coach at Tyler Junior College, very country guy. He's like, "Hey man, I'm the assistant coach here at Tyler. We want to see what you're doing." I was like, "I don't have any plans right now. I'm kind of just stuck." And they're like, "Well, we're back-to-back national championships. We sent everyone D1." In my head, California boys, man, you're not trying to go anywhere. And I wasn't even trying to listen to this guy.
For real.
I was like, I'm not going to this place. And then it hit me like, what else am I going to do?
Yeah.
So then I said, "Hey, can I come out there for a visit?" And he said, "No, we don't have time because we start preseason in 3 weeks." He says, "Can you go and get your GED within the next week and a half?" So I'm here like, oh my God. So I go down to the adult school and they're like, "We actually have a GED test in 2 weeks." So I call him back and I'm like, "I won't be there for the start of preseason, but I can come after 2 weeks." And he's like, "So you're committing?" And I was like, within 2 days, I made my decision that I'm going, because junior colleges in out of state can get scholarships. In California, you can't. So if you didn't know that, now you know.
Yeah,
So
facts.
they were giving me a
I
scholarship.
didn't know that.
But I needed my GED. They were like, "You dropped out of high school?" Yes, I needed my GED. Anyways, I ended up going to Tyler freshman year, bro. Just it's all internationals, Germans, Jamaicans, English. Just struggled. Just like, am I gonna come back? Like, I can't do this. Didn't play a lot at a junior college in the middle of nowhere. Just like, I can't do this. Meanwhile, I didn't realize that's really what I needed. I needed the curfews. I needed somebody checking all my grades at all time. If I would have gone a 4-year, I would have just sunk in the hole, bro. Gone.
Yeah.
And, sophomore year, I realized like, this is what you needed.
Yeah.
And I left there like, I got there like a boy, and I left there like a young man.
In 2 years.
In 2 years.
People gotta know. People gotta know that community college is 2 years.
2 years. So
Yeah.
my freshman year was just kind of a blur. My sophomore year, I left there with a 3.8, right? Leading goal scorer on the team as a winger. All region second team. We won the national championship. And for anyone that's like kind of lost, man, junior college gives you the guidance that a 4-year never does. Like, you have that personal relationship with the coach. I had to go shake my coach's hand every day. I had to go before I got to practice. He made sure I was in the office. "How are your grades? What are you doing with this? What are you doing with that?" And it was like a Last Chance U for anyone that's seen that show, Last Chance U on TV. That's what it was for me. And I wasn't the only one like that. There's a lot of guys that were kind of, I had friends in there that just really fell off. Ended up going full ride to Creighton. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ballers. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I just to make it short, man, won a national championship there, and kind of turned my life around. I mean, Coach Clements, he knows, curfews, no earrings, no hats, no girls in the dorms, no, like, it's just run like Last Chance U, bro. And for someone that was lost, it's exactly what I needed. And I left there for Cincinnati, ready, got a full ride to the University of Cincinnati, and started despite what anyone would say, I started every single game there. And
bro, before we get into Cincinnati, bro, let me comment on that, bro, because that's a fucking incredible story, dog. For the timing,
it's legendary, dude. It was all supposed to, it was like one of those decisions where you're like, either I go or I don't go. If I don't go, I end up who knows where, just get lost in the Sunday League world, which is what I don't want. What I see these kids doing now, that I'm like, damn, that could have been me.
Facts. And look, community college, to touch a little bit on it, obviously I went to a 4-year program, but I see the Mount Sacks, I see the level, the players that go there. I see the PCCs are, not the best, but still crazy level. And I feel like there are certain programs like the Last Chance U who can give you that right environment. And it's a 2-year ordeal. You get in, get out, try to develop as best as you can. And then, it's like, there's people that have gone to the MLS, but like, I feel like that's a nice trampoline to get you to a D1, like you got a full ride. And
Bro, but real quick, no disrespect to like the Mount Sacks or like the Yavapais or like the Richlands or um in Tyler, like I feel like Mount Saginaw soccer is like priority. In Tyler, your grades.
facts.
Keep on it, bro. On your grades and don't and just play. He's take care of your grades and just play, and I will send you somewhere. That's it.
Oh,
That's it.
people,
I
people
just
have
feel
to know
like just
that.
to throw that out there because some people go to 2 years and I'm like, man, that was whack. Yeah, because you didn't have the grades. Tyler, coach is on you. Grades, 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 grades to the point to where you're like, you know what? Maybe let's just do our work.
Yeah, facts. And also, I feel like a big important thing that needs to be said out there is that try to live on campus. The commuter life, bro. I feel like that's what hurts a lot of the Mount Sac players, that they're commuting back and forth.
Yes, dude, that's big time. That's so big time.
You know what I'm saying? So I
Yes.
feel like even at community, try to get those on dorms because that makes such
Yeah.
a difference, you know?
Up here, dude. Yes.
Yeah,
You don't feel like you're living at home anymore.
facts.
Dude,
Facts. And
that's
that,
so big time. That was a big reason why I left.
yeah.
To
And
not have that community.
another thing I wanted to say, bro, that's I feel like for an 18-year-old, not even as a soccer player, but as a human, that's what you need, especially like California. We have it all, bro. We can play soccer year round. For us to leave that is hard, but we need. I feel like from my experience, I went coast to coast, and that's what I needed. But if that there was something successful about my college career was that it pushed me out of my comfort zone as a human. As far as like, I'm not just soccer. You see different people, you see different classes of people. You're definitely you're put in situations where life is different than staying at home. So it has to be.
Big time.
I feel like for a player and for that's very important. So I feel like you go to Texas, bro. There's a big there's a big football state, but I feel like it's just a big sports state. And I feel like if you go in there and lock in, you're gonna be successful, and then you're gonna end up at a D1 like you did in Cincinnati. So yeah, man, I feel like
Yeah, man. If I could say anything, sometimes where I see I see a lot of guys here in Texas that signed for the USL team here and for the FC Dallas second team, North Texas.
uh-huh.
And I see these kids, man, they're so talented, but they're driving from their house to the stadium. And I'm like, man, this kid would be unreal if he was put in a new environment, in an uncomfortable position. It's like
Yeah.
new. Everything's just new. He has to work for what he has, but they're home. So like once they leave their training session, they go and do the same things that sometimes you need a change of scenery, man. That to me, I mean, I can say it saved me, bro.
I
Literally,
hear
it
you.
saved me.
Yeah, I very good point, bro. And I feel like, yeah, I feel like if you haven't tuned in on iTunes, there's no soccer last chance you, but that I feel like that they've documented that they've done a great job of, showing the coaches side, showing the players side, showing the community side, and then you actually see which of the players is going to do better. And it's a lot of those players are living in the dorms and not commuting. So I feel like that's like simple things like that can make a difference. That I feel like my parents and your parents, because me and you are the first generation doing this, didn't have, So, I feel like these are the points that, up and coming players and maybe parents have to soak up just to smooth out and iron out their progress for the up and coming players.
Yeah.
So you go off to Cincinnati. You have 2 good years. That you have 1 good year, down year, and then kind of shook it off, had a better year, stellar year, and then you have to Cincinnati. Can you talk about a little bit about the recruitment process, just so people can get behind the scenes of going from community college to a D1 program?
Yeah, well, I don't know how it is from high school to D1 because I didn't have that experience.
Yeah.
At all. But it was just, finish my season, take care of my grades, obviously get on the phone with the coaches. I had a bunch of offers, man. Any D2 in the nation.
So after that year, who were some schools on your radar?
I had Grand Canyon. We got on the phone for a while. They were just transitioning to D1. They had just hired a new coach. Stony Brook, New York.
Yeah, New York.
With them. NC State, we talked a little bit. University of South Florida, Cal State Fullerton. But my 3 were Cal State Fullerton, University of South Florida, and Cincinnati. That was what it came down to, the final 3. And then, took my visit to Fullerton, took my visit to Cincinnati, and declined my last visit to South Florida because I committed to Cincinnati the following week
Facts.
after. Yeah.
Why? What got you? Like, what kind of, grabbed your attention? Was it the conference? Was it the roster, the facility?
The conference got me. The people were cool. Obviously, they take you to basketball games, football games.
Big basketball school, big football school.
Yeah, and then you're just caught up with everything. The campus is beautiful, man.
Because they scrapped the program, no, right now. No more soccer.
That's a whole.
Oh, it's definitely a whole nother different story. But I feel like if Cincinnati was a powerhouse to go to, because Ohio State for soccer is also D1 powerhouse. So, I was gonna, for anyone listening who wants to go to, but Cincinnati no más. But for your time that you're there,
yeah. If you want to go there, I'm sorry, it doesn't exist anymore. That was a crazy situation, bro. It's a sad one, very sad. But
man, definitely, man. And I'm like I said, bro, we're gonna be able to talk forever. And like obviously, we have a personal relationship. So this is not the only one we're gonna, do. So that's another story for another time.
Yeah.
But your time there, you get a D1 scholarship. So you go from high school dropout, bro, to D1 athlete on a full ride. Like living. How did your life change? Like, how was your mental? How was your like soccer morale at that point?
It was great, man. I mean, I was pumped. I was probably the number 2 or 3 recruit out of my whole team in Tyler. I mean, I was one of the key players easily. I mean, our best players starting right back for LA Galaxy right now. O'Neal Fisher, the Jamaican, good player. That was our guy. And then other than that, you can kind of pick and choose what you like. And then our center back, who got a full ride to St. John's. It was good, man. It was high. And then I didn't realize how hard it would be going from a winning program to a losing program.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big thing, man. You go with a very different mentality to what the players had when I got there. And obviously all great friends of mine now, and then I'll tell them to their face any day, it was a losing mentality from day one.
Yeah.
And that to me, I think I try to stay as strong as I could. And then eventually you kind of just you just follow along, man. I mean, and then you realize what's happening with the system. Like it's just a, negative system, defensive system. You don't get to express yourself on the field. You're just filling in a job, to be honest. You're just playing a role.
Okay. So let me touch 2 things on that. If you obviously, I feel like the resources, the way the college soccer can work and can be part of our culture, as far as like if it was a year-long season, if it was in 3 months, if they gave us more mental health, if they gave us more nutrition, better resources, I feel like it could work. But if you put all the distractions to the side, bro, it's a good level. As far as athletic, as fast as it's fast. And if you put kind of, coaches have their system and the way of doing things, and 100% I agree with, they stunted I feel like the biggest problem in America right now is college coaches who have been there 10, 20 plus years, who are comfortable, who don't give a fuck, who they've had a reputation, they've had 1 or 2 successful years, and they play soccer and they're so irrelevant to the game now, bro, that's what's stunning the college process, but the whole process in America as far as elevating the game of soccer. So, but it does, I feel like it's a good level to play, because again, like anyone could beat anybody, anyone could park the bus and go direct. And I honestly don't have a problem with being direct. I feel like in other episodes, I wanted to kind of just clear something up, because I've been saying like, I like to play direct, as far as like, that doesn't mean long ball. Like the whole tiki-taka possessions is important to me, but I feel like that was an era, Iniesta era, Xavi era. I don't think that should be a style of play, bro. We're athletic, we're fast. I like to, you saw me play, and the type of player you are, bro. I like to go at people. I like to score. I like to be strong. And like, we have to see a switch in the point is necessary, but like if we can whip balls in, if we can get forward, like that's what is entertaining soccer to me. That's the kind of soccer that I played, that I aspired to coach, that I aspired to teach. And I feel like we have every athletic every athletic attribute, all the sauce, all the right pieces to play that in the American level. And as far as like a nation, and it could start in the college system, but a lot of these programs is not, you know, a lot. I would say a lot of big reason is that these coaches, bro, these coaches are outdated, and it's time for people who've grown up in the system to fill up these positions. And what I realized from the coaching world, bro, I've been trying to have this conversation in the coaching world for the last 8 years, and no one gave me the fucking time, bro. Now I'm talking to pros, coaches, people that are qualified, people that have grown in the system, have been successful in the system like me and you. And it's just like, bro, we're coming, change is coming, because it's not going to come from the big dogs who are comfortable out there, because all the big jobs, bro, they're filled, and these people are soaking up the money, they're comfortable. So they're like, the last thing on their agenda is to elevate and give access to the game of soccer here in America.
You know what's crazy to me, bro, is like, I agree with you 100%. No one wants to talk about it, and the crazy thing is, these coaches are stuck in their ways, and I don't understand why. Because the coaches that win are actually the ones that do things the right way.
Caleb
So, like,
Porter, you see Caleb Porter, how successful been at
yes,
Akron and the
and like the
Sounders, bro.
schools, you're looking at Louisville, like New Mexico before, UCLA, like they all play.
Mhm.
So when I see these people like trying to keep their jobs, and like I've seen the thing wasn't more like sad for myself as like the situation I end up in. I've seen like players that, I went to IMG for a summer,
Yeah.
right? We had this kid from Dubai, nasty, best player at IMG. You're talking draft picks all over the place. I'm watching him when I got there, and I'm like, this kid's ridiculous. Where did you go to school? Oh, this was when I first got there. He goes to Cincinnati. I'm like, oh shit. So I'm going to school with him next year. So throw him into our system in Cincinnati, invisible.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude.
Another thing, okay, that was the second point I was going to bring you. You said you brought up role players. You brought up role players. So just like your friend right now, and there's so much talent that, again, because they have to keep their job, college coaches have to keep their job, and they're so stuck in their way and old fashioned, a lot of the people who are diamonds, who are that player, they need the ball at their feet, who need, like who need that space, there's a way to express soccer, bro, where, you can play soccer, where you can also make people feel the way soccer supposed to be played, and I feel like there's no room for that in the college soccer. And I feel like role playing, I feel like I talked to this with, I did my first NWSL women's interview, this prior episode. And what this girl told me was like, I was the ultimate role player, and I relate to that because I was the ultimate role player too. But people have to realize that that's not a compliment. There's one thing being a complete player, and you want to be able to read the game anywhere anyway how you want to do it. But you don't want to be the thing that your coaches rely is like, if someone gets hurt, if we're playing an X amount of, we're playing this team, we need this result, we need to put you there. I don't think that's right for the development. I don't think coaches should do that. And I think parents and up and coming players need to know the difference between being a role player and a complete player.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, and just to go to that, role player and things of that, like that. It's so crazy because I know you've seen it and everyone's seen it. Like, I'm not saying that it's nothing wrong with it, but you've seen like average players just end up in the right system that plays to their strength, and they become very good players. Yeah. And then you've seen absolute ballers end up in the wrong system, and just, I mean, you and I are a perfect example, right? And for me, you can say, oh, you know what, this guy, just complaining, he probably didn't play. I started every single game that I put on that freaking red and black shirt. Yeah. Every single game I was in the lineup, every game. Bro. But you look at my highlight, bro, this is the crazy thing. If we're really going to, you look at my highlight and it's still nasty, dribbling. But every time I'm dribbling someone, it's like in the middle of the field, nothing in the offensive third, because we're so deep. And that just goes to show you how far deep we were winning the ball. That's the crazy shit, dude. It's crazy. It's actually crazy. Look, yeah. And I don't like to talk on this stuff, bro, because I just like to chalk it up and just, that's it. But
the thing is that you bring an interesting point, because stats are so important in the college game, in the American game, just because of the NBA, the NFL, the triple doubles. I feel like in the college system, if you have 10 goals and 7 assists, you're gold. But those players, those center backs, those people that make those opportunities happen, don't really get the shine that they can. And you know, you're qualified to talk on this on the college level, bro. And the thing is, like, you've played above the college level. So the thing is, like, this information has to be given to players, and players have to know that, you know, there's a small window for you to figure out whether this is going to be a good fit or not.
Yes.
And because everything's so short, everything's so compressed. So one of my biggest mistakes is that I didn't transfer. I had a good season. I bounced all over the place. I had a good second season. I bounced all over the place. I'm halfway done to college and I'm still thinking about transferring, but then realistically, that's too fucking late, you know? So you have to, yes, school is 2 semesters, or you do the quarter, but like, you have to make a decision after your first season. Is this a good fit? Is this not a good fit? What are my options? Do I, you know, could maybe drop to a D2? But you also have to, there's for up and coming players, or what I want to make give my 2 cents is that it's not a good thing for you to be a powerhouse if you're not getting any minutes. Yeah. You know, if as much as I may complain about being a role player, I got fucking minutes, you know? So I feel like it's a very important thing. It's like, yeah, like it may look on your resume, but like, you have to log in minutes. It's only 3 months. If you're not getting a full 90, at least a half, bro, your development process is molasses.
Dude, and to go on, and like, just to piggyback off that, like, I don't want people to think like we're just here shitting on the college games and complaining. What we're doing is, or what I want, like what I would want to get across to this, any like youngsters watching this, is ask a million questions. When you're asking, there's no stupid question. Like, when you're making a decision of where you want to go to college, don't worry about how amazing the facility is and how, you know, how many fans go to the football game. Ask 100 questions about the style of play and how, and not just to the coach, ask the players that are currently there. That is the key. If you're doing the recruitment process and you're visiting, ask the players what it's like, right? And don't ask the ones that are playing all the time. Ask the ones that are sitting on the fucking bench. Ask them what it's like, and they'll tell you what it's really like, and then you can kind of gauge it from there. If the bench players are telling you the coach is outstanding, that's saying something. So I think that's really, really, really important, is if you're looking to go to college and you're going on these visits, don't get caught up so much in going D1. There's D2 schools. There's players going LA Galaxy from Dominguez Hills left and right. I don't know if they're D1 now, but go ahead.
Good, bro. Great point. No one has brought up on that on the podcast yet. We're 9 episodes in, and you have to ask a million questions when there's recruiting visits. You have to take them. I don't know what the rules are, but back in our day, it was 5. You could take 5 official visits, and they're paid for. You know, so if you're being recruited, or if you're not getting recruited, pull up to these schools. You know, try to get on their radar. And had 2 good seasons in Cincinnati. You know, you got a degree, successful. That's a success. As whatever you did after your career, bro, you won. That moment me and you got that degree, the moment I walked across stage, bro, being a first generation graduate for free, bro, I put on for not just for my family, but for El Salvador. Like,
you're winning.
And that's what you did too, you know. And luckily you were able to play pro. You were lucky to get a call up with the full team with the 20s. And can we talk about what you remember about that experience? And, you know, what was life after Cincinnati?
It was good, man. I mean, I'll just jump straight into it. I was in Atlanta, and then somehow connections ended up in El Salvador. It's kind of the same thing, game time decision, because I was loving Atlanta. And then they were just like, hey, we got an offer for you in El Salvador.
You were with the Silverbacks, Atlanta Silverbacks.
Yeah, the reserves.
The reserves.
So MPSL team. Yeah, I was just there for the summer training, getting ready.
I got you.
And I was like, yeah, let's go. So I took off, right. And then I got there, and then, you know, started training, and then, you know, getting used to the weather and everything. And I signed for 2 years. So I signed for 2 years. And then I was just there, you know. The thing is, people don't understand. Like, people are like, oh yeah, you know, Salvador, the league is this, the league is that, whatever you want to say. so many other factors that you have to take into consideration of how hard it is to play
The
in a
conditions.
league like that. You're looking at these fields that heavy grass. Try running in that. You know, you're not fit for that until you're there for 5-6 months.
Yeah.
It doesn't just happen. You know, you have to get used to the lifestyle. You have to get used to the food. You have to get used to the transportation. You have to get used to, you know, being there on your own in, you know, the middle of wherever you're at. All these things affect your play. So as much as people are like, oh, you know, I would go over there and kill it. No, you wouldn't. It's
Yeah.
not that. It
Facts.
doesn't just work like that. You know what I
Facts.
mean?
Mhm.
So as much as people want to say whatever they want to say, it's a professional league, and it's ran like a professional league. And it's not easy to, as people think, to stand out and really, you know, hit it off there. But I mean, I had a great experience, man.
Yeah. Facts.
The thing is, when I finally, you know, I sat the bench first games, and he didn't really want to play me, the coach, and I was, you know, just staying patient, just crushing it at practice. And then towards the end, it kind of started coming together a little bit, and you know, I was able to, you know, get in against Aguila, play against Metapan, play against Alianza, and I started getting minutes. And then, you know, once I really got going, the season ended, and then they sold the team. And then once they sold the team, I went home. And then, you know, you get home and you just kind of are like, you know, does it really work? I was going to go to Firpo. I had the offer. And then my agent at the time was like, hey, you know, you want to go to Sweden and kind of start, you know, grinding over there. And, you know, I put all these things, I piled, and I started coaching at the time.
Yeah.
So I started weighing everything out. And, you know, at some point, it's a full-time job, man. If you're not making real money, it's hard to just keep grinding and you know, my parents support me 100%. It's hard to keep leaning on them
Yeah.
to chase the dream at 24 years old. I just
Look, think
decided,
about how crazy that is, bro. That at 24 years old, you like that's it for us. Like I feel like at 24, I think that's when I stopped playing too, and it shouldn't be like that. I mean, you probably went on a little further, but it's before we jump into that, bro. For American players, the fact that you took the chance to come to the motherland, and for any like Central American, any Hispanic player who you know is in the college system or wants to, you know, maybe take a chance, you got to know that the conditions are hard.
yes,
It's at the end of the day, the conditions are hard. It's a business. You're dealing with businessmen as far as like the owners, but at the same time, a lot of these, what's a positive about these leagues, that the culture is there. There's people that would die for FAS, for FIPO, for Metapan, for like all these small clubs, and that's
but these
what.
American Salvadorians get it twisted that you're just gonna go over there and ball out. Doesn't
First of
work
all,
like
we
that.
get no respect. We're no one. We think first of all,
No,
we pull up.
sir.
Everyone thinks we're pussy. Like, oh, you pull up, you come from America, you're a pussy. I was 6'3", bro. Like, they didn't get. I went. That's one
You gotta
experience.
earn it. You gotta earn your stripes.
You gotta earn it, bro. And at the end of the day, but if you're able to like crack through that thing and actually get a contract and have that experience you have, it's a beautiful thing, bro. You go back to the motherland, you play, you get that professional experience, and that put you under the pro radar, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen so many guys that go and like just come back, like if there's someone, or say, oh yeah, they offered me, but I didn't want to stay. Well, then you didn't you play over there. You know what I mean? If you didn't sign, you didn't play over there. So until you've lived it a full season and gone through the ups and downs of what it really is like out there, you can't really speak on the league. You know,
How was the level of play? What was the style of play? What
it
was
was
it
good,
like?
man.
What
So
were you
style of play was
playing?
very direct.
Were you playing more out wing, or were you playing more in the
No, I
middle
was
of it?
playing the 10 at that point. So they were like,
Nice,
yes. So
nice.
I was the 10. It was just fast paced. It's very direct. So because you're dealing with these fields with long grass, there's no reason to try to ping the ball around, you know. Then unless you go to like Santa Tecla and Alianza, now you're dealing with like nicer grass, you can ping the ball around. But you come to our place, you're not pinging the ball around, right? We got long glass, a lot of long grass. We're in the middle of nowhere. Our field is tight. It's just a dogfight out there. Literally, it's just a dogfight. And, you know, a few moments of magic, you know, 3-point scores. I mean, we've been Metapan at our place. They couldn't come there and get any points. You know, Aguila came and got a draw. Our problem was going on the road. The big clubs, you just not going to beat them at their place either, you know. but it wasn't easy. I think we finished like middle of the table or just a little bit of the above the bottom half.
That's
So
dope, bro. Because
yeah,
I went on a trial with Firpo and Aguila, and it was like at that point I was so checked out, and like I was just like my morale of soccer was done. I knew I could play in that league, but I was just like, I wish. That's one of the regrets I have in life. I think my two trials were at a bad time. I wish I would have came back and retry, because I really think I would have gone on, and I think I would have enjoyed it, because those places are lit, bro. You pull up in the bus, they're throwing rocks, they're throwing piss, they're throwing beers at you, and like as a player,
it's crazy.
it's crazy, bro. And like that's at the end of the day, that's the dream, but it's also not suitable. There's no money, and yeah, kind of like it's crazy to think that at 24 is just like, damn, like I've been successful through the college system, through the American system. I've gone play in the foreign league, but then there's no money in my pocket. I'm still like 24. And then at that age, I feel like not that you're damaged goods, but like you should be a veterano. You should be a seasoned vet. You should be,
Yeah. I mean, the way I looked at it and the way I weighed it out is you got a 17-year-old that can do the same thing that I can.
Facts.
He's got 7 years to develop.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably 24 is probably as good as I'm going to get. Technically and physically and right, and now you just learn the game. I feel like now tactically I know the game more than I ever have, but I wasn't gonna get we could get better, but you got a 17-year-old, you can turn him into whatever you want.
Very good point. I never age is crazy, because age starts playing a factor, not just on your body,
I mean
but just on your value of a player, and I feel like if you don't have an established name by 24, it's tough. And the thing is just like, it's not only tough, but it's just like your options are limited, and it shouldn't be like that. Okay, maybe at 24, I'm not good to play D1 or like in the Premier, in the MLS, but can I play in the second division? It's just like,
there is exceptions unless you're just like on fire one year, because all it takes is 1 year to really get where you want to go.
Yeah, man. So a good year in El Salvador. What have you come back to the States, and what happens?
Just start coaching in LA, but like just very beginners coaching and just kind of learning how to coach. And then I just fell in love with it, man. Just fell in love with it, then moved to Texas. And now I'm here. I got 2 club teams. I got my own skills academy in Highland Park. And just, just enjoying it every single day, man. Just trying to teach the game, but then also teach these kids about hard work and what it takes to get to where you want to go, setting goals. Like, at the end of the day, like if I can teach something a little more than soccer, that's really what I'm shooting for, man. Because there's life after the game too, man.
And, I hear you. And that's what I wanted to touch on, and you've been coaching for a while now. I've been coaching because after I hung up the cleats, after I didn't want to play, I fell out of love for a minute with soccer. You would text me all the time, bro. Come here, come into this training. I used to tell you, fuck soccer, bro. I don't want to talk soccer. And then eventually I started coaching. Ended up at the Red Bull, and I started seeing there is not just a corrupt market to like milk money off this game, but also like if you actually want to do it right and get your licenses, it's one, the work is rewarding, it's inspiring to give back and to kind of teach your knowledge, but it's enjoyable. But also that, like, again, like what I said earlier in the podcast, there's so much bad information, and there's so many people that are being robbed and using soccer to like just make a quick buck. And I feel like it's important to point out that, I feel like it's not about having a private training. It's about providing the opportunity to play soccer. And actually, obviously, we got to charge for our time and our experience, but parents have to realize like, okay, like of like the stuff that they're doing. There's so many like influencer training programs and stuff like that like, have the crazy cones and stuff like that's not really the right way to develop. So I've seen the way you coach. I've seen the way you have your skills academy. And it's just like in a market like Texas, I feel like not just the demand is there, but it's just like we have to have academy skills like yours to find those talents, because Texas is a powerhouse, bro. And like,
Yeah.
there's only certain amount of big clubs that are actually like selecting this talent and discovering
Yeah.
this talent.
No, I mean, I just try to, I love all that stuff. I learn a lot of stuff from all the coons and the iPads behind you and checking your shoulder. I
Yeah.
mean, I just try to do game realistic stuff that you'll see in a game, man. Like if you're gonna see this in a game, we can work on it, and then we can get your touches in, get your shots in, and just make it as game realistic as possible. With my teams, I have a little bit of different philosophy than most, man. You know, people may feel different ways about it, but I try to teach, you know, the X's. If I can get you to buy in and I can get you to really care about what it is we're doing as a team, then the X's and O's kind of take care of themselves. So philosophy is a little different. I get my stuff from, I just care about the person first, and then the game kind of, if you
You're
can
a
get,
Liverpool fan?
yeah,
You're a
big time.
club fan, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
I can, yeah. A lot of people don't
Right.
understand, like, go on.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the way I have a coach that was a huge part of my life, and the way he mentored me and still mentors me. If you can build these relationships with people, that's really what matters. And then at the end of the day, the soccer stuff, we already know it. So I'm not worried about what I'm going to teach you about. I know I can teach you the game, but how do you get the most out of every single person that you're coaching?
Yeah.
Right. And coach everyone differently, because not everyone needs to be coached the same.
Facts.
And that's more so on the growth side. I'm huge on the growth side right now. Just love doing it. The girls, it's special, man, because if you can get a group of girls to buy in, they'll run through a wall for you, man. Once that group is all in, you're not beating them, man. You're not beating them.
Nah,
Yeah.
I think it's important to touch on youth development on the girls' side, because they're doing it right. We win, we dominate. So, if we can grow the level, we could start the development of women at a younger age, but we're going to continue to have this generational talent. And from my experience, I enjoy teaching girls, because they're more adaptable. They're, as far as like, they're going to obey, they're going to follow instructions. They're going to, and not as that, but again, like that connection is so important. And you see like Klopp, the connection he has with players at Liverpool.
Bro, the word is culture.
Culture.
That's it, man. It's just one word. Once you create that culture and that bond, you can't break it. And that's really what it is. Once, as a coach, if you can create that culture, you've done your job. And that's really what it is, man.
Yeah, locks the players in, locks the parents in, the commitment in, and it's, I feel like we've heard for the last 25 years, America doesn't have any culture. We don't have any identity. And I feel like that's such a vague thing to say. Like, no one, first of all, okay, but how do we build culture? What is culture? No one has really gave us, bro, a real answer, not even a textbook answer of like, they'll just tell us that we're bash, we trash, we have nothing. And like, I feel like the culture is here. America's so big and such a melting pot with so many identities that the culture is that. The thing is that you can teach a soccer the way you want, and I can teach a soccer the way I want, and we can have different backgrounds. But at the same time, bro, the fluency of the sport will make everything work. And I feel like, I feel like culture is something that we have. The things that we just don't have is that unity, that something to play for, that faith, that esperanza that every little country has, because we don't have a direct pipeline. We don't really prioritize developing talent, bro. We don't even prioritize winning. We prioritize making money. So we're in this bad state, for at least on the men's side, we're in this bad state because of money. And you bring up a lot of points, bro. And the thing is, I want to ask you before we close out, because you brought hell of points, and I feel like there's so much for the listeners to digest, for me to digest, and obviously we have a personal connection, so we're going to do a part 2 in person, hopefully. But before we close out, bro, I want to ask you realistically, where do you see U.S. soccer as far on the women's side and on the men's side? Because clearly you've been successful on the men's side, and now you're coaching behind, you're behind the scenes and seeing it from the girls' side.
Bro, well, the reason I love the women's side so much is we have all the tools there. I mean, you just have the best athletes in the world. It's not even close. And for them, the college system works out perfectly, and then you just go to the national team. And then I would like to see the women's league grow a little bit more, just because there's so many girls out there that really look up to these women.
Yeah.
But as far as national team, I think we're leaps and bounds ahead of everyone.
Fact.
Like, it's not. I mean, teams try to close ground, and then you get, freaking Kristen Press, Tobin Heath, like just
Sammy
players.
Mewis, brother.
It's
Chris, shout out to the Mewis
Rose
sister.
Lavelle. Rose Lavelle, like
she's on.
You just get girls that just keep coming through the system. So national team wise, we're good. The league, I would like to see us pump it up the way we're pumping the WNBA. Why not? Everyone's pumping the WNBA. Well, let's get the women's soccer league going too. Let's start pumping them up. The men's side, man, I'm really optimistic for the men's side. I mean, those guys are what, 18 through 23. I think we had one guy over 24 years old. I mean, Sebastian Leggett, that was the only one.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the future right there, man. Just Gio Reyna, Pulisic. Who was the other guy they had in there? Oh, Tyler Adams.
Well, they have Tim Weah. They have.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. Like, how can we get those guys in our league? Because the only way those guys are getting called up is playing in Europe.
Yeah, we need to gel. We need to have a foundation, bro. So yeah, the thing. Let me touch up on the women's side. The league is growing immensely. Just MLS started with 10 teams, bro, and now it's at 26. The women started with 10, and now they just added 2 in California, and they're gonna keep expanding. And if you look at their marketing, bro, it's fresh. They have the outfits, they have the behind the scenes. You see how there's the culture as far as like the communities there. People are pulling up to the Gotham FC. So I feel like we have to support it because it's a super league. Like, whether it's a small right now, it may not have the most teams, it may not have the most tradition. Bro, all the women superstars are here. The Rose Lavelle, the Kristen Mewis sisters, they're playing here in America.
Oh, what's starting to happen is they're starting to leave.
Yeah. But even though they leave, look, they came back. Like, as far as like Sammy Mewis left, and she was at Manchester City. And Rose Lavelle was, I think, at Manchester City. They came back, bro, and they're
Alex Morgan's back, Sidney LaRue's
exactly.
Here.
So I feel like these American players have like, we have a dominant. They figured out where we have a dominant national team. Let's keep it here and have a dominant league. So yeah, man, I'm a big, like I said, I did a monumental episode with Grace Cutler, bro. Great girl, dope interview, and she was telling me that it has miles to go as far as like growth, and it's like, as far right now, it's like the conditions aren't there, but like I would definitely bet that this is gonna be a super league, and it's so inspiring for young women to have a league like that, like the WNBA. You see, like, they're women, not just women's soccer, but women's sports in general are still getting, we saw recently with the NCAA March Madness, they're still not getting the resources compared to the men's side. But another thing you said that was dope, bro, is you're optimistic of the red, white, and blue on the men's side. Because that's how I feel. I believe that, clearly we're in a bad place as far as like men's soccer, but look at the group we have. These guys, 10 plus of these guys are playing in the Champions League. You said the age is good. And I think what we have to focus on is how do we keep, have the balance of MLS players, or, get those guys back here, or at least give, have a balance just like the women's national team of, domestic and foreign players. And also,
and I got to train under Borhalter at Galaxy. The guy is a genius, bro.
Bro, the staff is there. I'm telling you, like,
he's a genius. He's a perfectionist, bro. He's a
perfectionist. No, this is Klinsmann legend. He did wonders for our system and our progress for soccer. But like, why not trust Greg? Why not? He's American. He's grown here, So like,
he loves it, man. He's all for it.
And I feel like if we keep all the homegrown coaches, coaching staff, I feel like that's how we elevate it. It's just like, it's not about finding an identity. It's not finding about culture. It's just like, no, we have to gel and find that chemistry and bro, have the whole nation believe. As much as I hate that I believe we will win whatever shit, we have to believe. And when there's people like me and you that believe, and I think we have to not just believe, but yes, the group that we have now, but we have to find our consistency, because I don't want just the Christian Pulisic group to be good. I want my kids and your kids to be good. I want to be generational good. Where as far as like the women's side, they're going to be generational good, you know?
Oh yeah.
But as far as like the men's side, yeah, they might. We first of all, we have a big mountain to climb because we have a lot to prove. But I'm optimistic that we're going to prove. We're going to qualify next year. We're going to have at least reach the knockout stages, hopefully the Elite Eight. If we do that, bro, I'm putting it out there, we're going to be a powerhouse. And then maybe the next one we'll do it. But as far as like we have to, as far as like me and you who are still in the system, who are coaching back and trying to get back, our job, bro, is to inspire and also to make sure that we keep this generational soccer consistent, bro, because we can't just be good now, you know? I want to be able to see us win a World Cup in our lifetime, but I want my kids to be able to play in that World Cup and win it, hopefully, you know? It's the stuff that we didn't get to do.
You're right, but you know, it has grown, bro. I think where we were at 17, the kids at 17 now are way better.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, it has grown. So as much as like, obviously, you know, we got a little bit of ego, but the 15, 16, 17-year-olds coming up now,
they're miles. More technical, more athletic. I feel like the game is also faster, bro, but
they're ready to play pro already. They're 16, they're boom, ready to go. And so I think it's grown, man. I mean, I just think it's still there's just so much more with
so much more. You know, so organized, but again, it's like, bro, it's optimistic. Like we're real ones that love this sport, that love the MLS, that, you know, love the national team. Is like we have a personal connection. So it's not just that we're fans. It's like, no, we want to be good, bro. We want to, yeah,
bro. That's the only thing, man. Was like people are like sit there and like, you know, I think you said this on a different podcast. It's like just sit there and bash it instead of thinking like, wait, how can it be better?
Yeah,
how can we get better?
Yeah,
and
man.
That's why I don't sit there. I just watch the game, bro. I mean, obviously, I'll be like, well, what, you know, but like,
yeah,
I think it's going in a good direction. Yeah. I think we need to keep pushing. You know, 14, 15, 16-year-old kids coming up right now. Like, if you I go and watch these kids at these tournaments sometimes, man. I mean, FC Dallas has a kid that's like 14, that's just not 15, signed with the first team. I mean, how good is this kid, you know? The problem is, if he's that good, he's not here next year. You know what I mean?
Facts.
It's gone.
Facts. And so, man. There's so many logistics and mechanics that, you know, in the system, but the things like why, you know, not only this podcast is, I feel promising, and I feel like, again, like my number one goal is to inspire and to document the right information to give. And I feel like what's promising is that there's so many people that love this sport and that are on the same page as far as that we want to elevate. So right now it's just about expressing, having these conversations and connecting the right dots, bro. I believe in the power in numbers. I believe in the internet. And that's one thing of our generation, that we have all this technology. We have these ways to communicate. So it's all about getting on the right page. It's all about getting, you know, organized and just providing a good system. Let's stop making excuses. Let's stop talking out of our ass on Twitter, and let's actually drive action, you know, and actually like have these conversations. So, bro, I appreciate you. I feel like a lot of stuff was covered. Your story's fucking interesting, bro. And the thing, like I said, bro, like I can't wait to have a in-person again so we can dive deeper into the community college, to the Cincinnati. So like we didn't talk level of play. We didn't talk about your national team experience with the full team El Salvador, bro. That's stuff that has to be documented. Because again, like we're first generation. You were the first you, Richie Menjivar, Gerson McGann, like it's mind-blowing that you guys were the first class of American Salvadorians, and it has worked. Gerson's still playing. Richie got 50 plus caps. You had a good run. So like it can work. Like, again, it's all about finding homegrown talent, domestic talent, to respect just both sides of the game.
Yeah, bro. Well, thanks for having me on. And, you know, I think what you're doing is great because, you know, I think you asked me a few times and I was like, man, you know, you know, this is an uncomfortable topic for me, you know. It's not about me anymore. Like I
hear you.
But at the same time, like it's a conversation that needs to be had. And dude, I'm pumped about what you're doing. I've seen the list of people that you're going to talk to. It's big names, man. There's some big names out there. I'm just pumped for you, man. I'm pumped that I can be a part of this.
Nah, man. Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Just gave me a little bit, you know, a little part of your journey. I know you got really big things coming ahead, bro. Really big people dude, you guys stay tuned. There's some big names on there. And dude, it's something that, it's uncomfortable to talk about sometimes. You don't
Yeah.
want to talk about what you went through or your experiences. I can't remember the last time I've talked about my college experience, or just the game of, you just watch it now and kind of just learn, because our time has passed as players, so I just like to, pass it on to youth. So yeah, man, appreciate you having me.
Thank you,
And
bro.
big
And
things
look,
coming, bro.
thank you, bro. I appreciate the words. Those mean the world to me, bro. I'm a firm believer in people giving people their flowers. So you
Yeah.
giving me my flowers right now. Thank you. Your opinion means a lot. I'm a fan of you as a player, bro. I've known you for so long. We've been super close. And it's an uncomfortable situation for me to have too. It's gonna get personal, but I feel like at the end of the day, bro, there's stuff to get off our chest. There's stuff to document. Like you said, this is bigger than us. It's not about us anymore. So like, if me and you can inspire, or not even inspire, bro, if we can just help avoid players avoid the mistakes that we did. And, as far as like, we didn't make mistakes, we just probably didn't make the correct
Yes.
decisions. And what I wanted to tell you, dog, is that you're fucking sick, bro. Your left foot is nasty. You still a Sunday League warrior. I still see you balling, bro. So your career is an American success, my G.
It's just indoor now, bro.
You still got it, bro. And the thing is like, bro,
smash it.
Yeah, man, your left is like sauces forever, bro. I said it. I'm gonna keep saying it, bro, because it don't matter. You could be out of shape. But if you're technical, if you got that sauce, if you got that flavor, if you have that culture in you, bro, you're gonna be able to like at least enjoy yourself,
Oh yeah, I still have fun with it, bro.
My dog, bro. Again, this is Alan Rovira, Simi Valley legend, SoCal legend, Cincinnati legend, El Salvador legend, dog. Peace. Thank you.
Appreciate it, bro. Thank you.
My guy. Look, I'm gonna stop.